This is 9 News Queensland.
Good afternoon and welcome to 9 National News. This evening we are looking at a historical mark in our history, the French Revolution. So we are lucky enough to be interviewing Marie Antoinette. Take it away, Sam. Thanks, Alex. So Marie, I've heard that you were married at a very young age. Can you tell us what happened there? Yes, well, at the young age of 14, I was married to King Louis in 1768. Louis was 15, only a year older than me, although I was still extremely nervous because I had never met the boy, and there were over 5,000 guests and over 200,000 people came to watch us get married. So I'm glad I looked the part. I have also heard about the terrible tragedy with your children. Can you please explain and expand on that for us? Oh, yes. Well, I had 4 children with Louis, although it came at a very inconvenient time of the French Revolution. My first child, Marie, was named after my mother, and that was an intense birth. 3 years later came along Louis Joseph, Louis Charles, and Sophie. Month after her first birthday, my baby Sophie sadly passed away, as she was premature and not in good form. 2 years later, Louis Joseph, quite a delicate baby, died at the age of 7. Oh gosh, can't even talk about it. I'm starting to tear up. Since you've lived such an extravagant lifestyle as queen, did you ever worry about the peasants or consider how poorly they lived? As queen, I felt that it was partly my decision on the way people lived in the lower classes, although that's just the way it's been, and that is the way it is meant to stay, because peasants should live like peasants, and I, the queen, should live like a queen. To be honest, I felt quite intimidated when the peasants made an uprising. Now, please, tell us about your tragic death. Well, after I was physically dragged to the guillotine, I was sentenced to death that day. Before it happened, I remember someone cutting off all my hair roughly with a knife to allow a clean, easy cut when it was time. I have been a fashion icon for years, all my life, so this was more than a big deal. Those damn French people, disgusting animals they are. They had no right whatsoever to do that. What was the best thing about being queen during the French Revolution? I mean, it's a big deal. Well, you see, I actually had no political power as queen, although I did decide who must be penalised from certain behaviours. A large part of my role was to soon hopefully produce children to keep the royal line going. Now, what did you think of July 14th? What a day that was. Well, after the crowd of angry, outraged men and women of Paris stormed the Bastille, Louis and I destroyed all the records of the feudal Jews so that if anyone came looking, they wouldn't find anything. I thought that the bunch of people who stormed the Bastille were taking it too far and their outrage was over the top. If that hadn't have happened, the French Revolution may not have been so bad, if not have happened at all. Even though you were only a teenager, you were still idolised by many and looked up to. Why was that? Well, as a queen, many young women and children looked up to me because I was married and a mother at an extremely young age. Important and born into royalty I was. There have been plenty of rumours that you apparently said, "Let them eat cake," because there was just not enough food. Can you tell us what happened there? Just to let you know, I did most definitely not say that. There was not enough bread to go around for everyone, so I smelt the cake and thought about it, but never said those words. The rumours built up and were received in the wrong way. It was extremely frowned upon because it was seen as a decadent monarchy. Yes. Well, looking back on the revolution, do you believe that you could have avoided it altogether? I don't believe it would have been possible. I mean, there were many things that fueled the beginning of the revolution and kept it going. Yes, that is a very good point, Marie. Well, thank you so much for your time, Miss Antoinette. We really appreciate it. Back to you, Alex. Thanks for joining us on 9 National News this evening. Until tomorrow afternoon at 5. See you later.